Good evening to all the civil service aspirants. Almost 19 days have passed after your prelims. I hope that all of you, whatever happens with your prelims, okay, just start your mains preparation. And anyone who are having a score of 95 and above, don't waste your time. Believe in yourself and hope that the result will be positive, and prepare seriously for your mains. And those students who have not getting a score of 95 and above, don't be disappointed. Okay, now that you have done your best, but make sure that next year you rectify all your mistakes and score well for your next prelims. At the same time, I always say this important point to my students that, see, one day, if not this year, next year or any time, you have to write the mains, and your mains marks decides your final rank. The role of interview is comparatively lesser. The mains, how well you score in your mains, it's crucial. And most of these aspirants, they lack, or they don't give so much of importance for mains like what they give for prelims. And that's the reason why many students take more time to qualify this exam. So my suggestion is that now that prelims result or prelims day or the impact of June 3rd prelims is over, you should come out of it and start seriously prepare for your mains. Okay, so when you study any subject for your mains, I am talking about GS 1, 2, 3 and 4, this can be applicable for your option also. Before you start for your mains preparation, make sure that at least once you have gone through the syllabus, and at least once please go through the previous year questions from that respective topics, and then only start your preparation for that particular topic, because you should know the syllabus as well as the demand of what UPSC expects from that particular topic. So by knowing the demand of UPSC or by knowing the pattern of UPSC question, you can judge yourself where you stand in relation to that particular topic, and you can prepare accordingly. Now here today, my aim is to make you understand how important Indian economy is for your mains examination. So earlier I also have discussed in detail about the significance of Indian economy for your prelims. Okay, so first point what I want to say is that, okay, what I have done for you to make your preparation systematic, that I have taken the last 5 years questions of Indian economy, because in 2013 only UPSC have changed the syllabus. So I have taken 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17 mains economic questions, and I have made an analysis of, okay, this question have come from which particular topic or from which module of your syllabus, so that you can now prepare that module in a comprehensive manner. So now regarding Indian economy, the core economy is there in GS3. The first 10 modules of GS3 constitute the major chunk of Indian economy. But other than that, in your 13th module of GS3, there is one small topic is there, that is intellectual property rights. And in GS1, there is a topic called regarding poverty and development issue. In GS2, there is issue of poverty and hunger. Some government welfare scheme is there, but I am not dealing with that. And also in the international institutions topic, there are many economic topics regarding important international institutions, important international agreements, especially economic agreements, which affects India or India's interest. So even though majority of the economic topic is there in GS3, some portion is being covered in GS1, and a bit, some few more topics is also been covered in GS2 also. More than that, economy, the content or what you studied in GS1, 2 and 3 under Indian economy plays a very important role for your essay also. So we will see that, okay, how important Indian economy is for your mains examination, and approximately how many marks questions you will get for your examination, and how you have to prepare for this Indian economy for your mains. Okay, and Indian economy as a subject, if you're thorough with the concepts and the syllabus, and if you have good answer writing practice, definitely you can score very well from this particular section. Okay, so you can see that, okay, the first module in GS3, if you take the GS3 syllabus, there are 20 modules are there, 20 modules are there, 20 topics are there. Out of this 20, I told you first 10 belongs to Indian economy. So the first module, as I say, is the syllabus says that, the first module says that, of GS3, says that Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development and employment. Okay, so 5 topics is mentioned. 5 topics is mentioned in your module 1 as per your syllabus. Okay, so as a student who are preparing for your mains, if not this year, next year, you need to be thorough with all these 5 topics. Okay, and so along with preparing for these 5 topics, you need to have an idea. You need to have an idea about these previous year questions. Okay, so if you see the pattern of questions from this particular topic, for example, you see it, okay, in 2017 there was a question regarding growth. Okay, among several factors for India's potential growth, savings rate is the most effective one. Do you agree? What are the other factors available for growth potential? So it was a 10-mark question. So my first question is it from your, this question, is it from your syllabus? Yes. Why? Issues relating to growth. So growth and related issues, the factor responsible for India's growth and the challenges for India's growth is there in your syllabus. So if you might have studied the syllabus thoroughly, you could have easily answered this particular question. Okay, so see, normally students ask one more thing also. Okay, so from where to prepare for Indian economy? Okay, my suggestion is there are many things are there. For example, okay, you can refer economic survey, the latest and the previous year economic survey, especially volume 1, where volume 1 have made, there will be covering many analysis. So one, I will, for the mains point of view, I will suggest is economic survey. So definitely you have to read this, the recent economic survey, that is 17-18 economic survey, and just go through the 16-17 important topics covered in the 16-17 survey also. So that is one source I will suggest. Second source I will suggest is the last 1 year or 1.5 years Yojana and Kurukshetra. The topics, you no need to read the entire topic. The topics which covered in the Yojana and Kurukshetra, which is related to your syllabus, which is mentioned in your syllabus. That is the second source, Yojana and Kurukshetra. They are government publication. Third is the major newspapers like Indian Express. I'll prefer Indian Express Delhi edition. It's now available through, like, you can easily access in digital manner. It's available in through mobile app, or many people is accessing it. I am accessing it through e-learning, like digital form. But for economy, my major source I'll suggest is Business Line, Economic Times, Business Standard. Okay, so you have to read the newspaper. Okay, that's very important if you want to answer these questions. Okay, but again, the problem I know as a student is that you lack time to go through all these newspaper. Okay, it's very difficult as a student. So that's why we have formed a Telegram channel for mains, where important article from your syllabus, related with your syllabus, from different newspaper is shared in that economic telegram channel. So you can, whenever you have time, you can read that article. Other than that, okay, what we do is that we compile the material. So I personally compile all the material, what all is required, or our team will make it as per the syllabus from all these sources. We refer some standard textbook also to get into it, because in this way, other than this, you need to have a standard material. You can read any regarding textbook, because if you see the questions, okay, many of the questions can't be answered from one particular textbook, okay. So if I suggest you 2 or 3 textbook, that will not be, so you are spending a lot of time. That should not be the way you have to prepare. So what you need to do is that have a comprehensive material wherever it is available. Okay, we are providing it. Okay, so it's not that if you get from someone else, if it's with these qualities. Okay, if your material is able to answer these previous year questions as well as the current related issues associated with this particular topic, then you can go through it. So since textbook is not, any textbook is covering these qualities or it's not having these features, that's why I'm not suggesting, but definitely you have to read newspaper, Yojana and Kurukshetra and economic survey, because questions used to come from it. Okay, so anyway, my aim is that just have an idea that whether the previous year questions are from the syllabus. Obviously, it is from the syllabus. That you can see it, I just want to show it. So if you are thorough with the syllabus and the topics and issues, especially the current affair associated with your syllabus, you can answer majority of the question. You can answer almost all the question. And you can score well also. So 2017 question obviously was from the syllabus. It was from growth related issue. And see the 2016 mains question from this particular topic. How globalization has led to the reduction of employment in the formal sector of the Indian economy. Is increased informalization detrimental to the development of the economy? So see the question, okay. So first topic is regarding globalization and employment. Is employment is there in your syllabus? Yes. Issues associated with employment. So employment is there in your syllabus. And what it is saying that is this increased informalization, that is more informalization of employment, that is transition from formal employment to shift from formal employment to informal employment. Is it detrimental for the development of the country? So they are linking employment with development. Again, related with this element. Okay, so what are the key factors for the development of the country, or what are the major challenges for the development of the country? So one among them is informalization of employment. Okay, so again, second question, 16 questions also is from your syllabus only. But again, when I say that you need to know how deep you have to study a particular topic, that you will get an insight only when you analyze the previous year question. So previous year question help you to know how deeper UPSC is asking question from a particular topic. And I'm telling you, if you have answer to these questions, if you know the answer to these questions, many questions like coming, if for example, if you are writing 2018 mains or if you are writing 2019 mains, if you are preparing from the syllabus thoroughly as well as knowing the answers to these questions, I am sure that when you write your mains, you can answer questions in a better manner, because you will be highlighting or you will be giving importance to the major points, means major core points which is required from that particular topic. Okay, this is the strategy you have to follow, that for each and every topic you should have a good core points to address. Core point means whatever the way the question, if you write these points in your answer, definitely you will get good marks. So one among them is, if for example, okay, from these question itself you are getting some core points. Okay, so if your question is about employment, definitely you can mention about the challenges in employment, present challenges in employment, that is the growing informalization in the employment sector, in that particular sector. Similarly, when an issue associated with growth, one of the issues associated with growth is related to savings or investment. It's a crucial factor for the economic growth of the country. So previous year questions will help you not only to know the pattern of the question, it will also help you to know how deep, how deeper you have to study a particular topic, or how much relevant or how favorite this topic is for UPSC. And you should try to answer these questions. You should answer it these questions. You should write these questions. You should answer it and get evaluated to know whether you are writing the correct point to this particular question. That's the key thing about mains. Not only for this particular subject, it doesn't matter, okay, how well knowledgeable you are. I've seen students, when they submit answers, they miss many key features, or they miss many important points, or they miss many things in their answer. It's not because they are not aware of it, because they don't know whether that was required in that particular question. So you need to, so answer writing, I always give importance for your mains. And when you try to practice answer writing previous year question, you should first practice answer writing previous year questions. And then only you should write these test series and other things. Okay. So now when it comes to the third question, okay. So third question, it was a current affair question, okay. Smart cities were almost in 2015 when the government announced this smart cities concept, okay. So they asked this question, okay, smart cities. What are smart cities? Direct question. Examine their relevance for urban development, okay. See, syllabus, urban development. Here what it says, development. So under this topic, so similarly development is there in GS2 under social justice. Okay, so there when you study development there, you will study rural development, urban development. But development is here also. That's why this question was asked in GS3. So it shows the depth of development, okay. Even you need to know about the different development process as well as urban development. So if UPSC can ask urban development, definitely they can ask about rural development also. But see, here the hint, okay, smart cities, they are talking about the relevance for urban development in India. Now the question is, will it increase rural urban differences? Will it create divide between rural and already a divide is there? Now give arguments for smart villages in the light of Pura, which is a government a concept for root bringing development, eliminating poverty, or providing urban amenities in rural area. So this is a scheme to provide urban amenities in rural area, these schemes. Okay, so they are asking that whether give arguments for smart villages, like smart cities, smart villages also. So again, I will suggest that, so this was a question asked in GS3. So why it was asked? So it is a topic related with development, and development is there in your syllabus. Okay, so just connect it. And more than that, this was a current affair question. Smart cities was in news. That's why I told you that. So you have to relate that a particular current affair with your syllabus. Okay, is it to this particular syllabus? Not only for economy, you can relate it with other subjects also, like polity, security, international relations, etc. Now when it comes to the fourth question, that is in 2015, okay. So if you see the questions, okay, UPSC have asked from this module 1 in 17 one question, in 16 2 question, and 15 also the UPSC asked a question. What is that related with? They are saying that the nature of economic growth in India in recent time is often described as jobless growth. So again, do you agree with this view? Give arguments in favor of your answer. Again, when you look into the syllabus, okay, jobless growth. So they are relating two things, okay. It is an issue associated with growth, and it is also related with employment. Because the growth in India is now jobless, means it's not creating sufficient employment. Again, directly from your syllabus. Then, so this was one of that question, okay, which you cannot directly link with the syllabus, but it was a current affair, okay. Craze for gold in Indians has led to a surge in import of gold in recent years and put pressure on BOP and external value of rupee. In view of this, examine the merits of gold monetization scheme. Okay, so this was a question, purely a current affair question, which was there in news at that period of time during the 14 and 15 period. Okay, and government have tried many things, But again, similarly, same thing, similar type of situation is happening in India in relation to the external value of rupee. Not because of increase in gold in import, but due to several factors. The rupee value is increasing. So since it is a current affair, like this particular question you can expect. Okay, so a general question, but a current affair question. So not directly related with any specific syllabus, but again, if you can say that, okay, so indirectly it is something associated with the development of our economy, but not explicitly with any syllabus. But I'll say only this question I find it, okay, not directly related with the syllabus, but almost all other questions are related with your syllabus only. So why I'm showing, see these pattern of question, okay, you can expect such type of question for the 2018 also, because same problem is we have now in the last 2 or 3 months we are facing in relation to the rupee is continuously depreciating, okay, it has gone to a very low level also, so due to many factors, okay, you have to prepare for it for your mains. Now the next question, okay, again a growth related question, okay, normally countries shift from agriculture to industry and then later to services, but India shifted directly from agriculture to services after economic reforms, okay. What are the reasons for the huge growth of services in relation to industry in the country? Which topic? Again, growth related issues. Okay, so under growth, we have to see that which all, see we are in that growth topic or economic growth topic, you will study about GDP, because GDP is our national income indicator. So 3 important sectors are agriculture, industry and services. So why in India this has happened? So it is related with, again with the directly with the syllabus, that is again a question related with growth. Now they are asking that can India become a developed country without a strong industrial base, okay. So these are analytical questions, okay. These are analytical questions, and if you can answer these questions by knowing what happened in India before having a strong industrial base, why we became a service economy. So if you know what happened in 1991, the reasons for the economic reforms and what made open our economy, why we didn't have a strong industrial base, especially pre-1991. So all these things again we will study under the different topics like industrial issues, which is there in your syllabus, or effect of liberalization on the economy. So those knowledge which is there in your syllabus can be used to answer these questions, okay. So I'm not answering these questions, okay, these things we will discuss later on, okay. So just have an idea the pattern of questions and why it has been asked. So when you prepare module 1, so I will say that you are thorough with module 1 only if you know the answers of these 7 questions. If we can answer these 7 questions properly, and if you can get it evaluated by rectifying your mistakes, I will say that okay, you are done with this particular module. And if you are not able to answer these questions, and even if you are after answering question and if it has not been properly evaluated, that the completion of that topic will not be there, because then only, see, my aim is that if you are preparing for a topic, if you are writing mains, you should score well in that particular paper. You should not score 40% or you should score at least 50%. You should even touch, if possible, 60%. 55 to 60%, okay. Some questions, okay, you can score 60%, some you may not. Okay, so on an average, okay, if you see that in GS3 last year, toppers have scored even more than 140. Okay, so if you can score more than 140, if it is that you are consistently, you can score more than 60%, near to 60% in all the paper, okay. So this strategy you keep in mind, okay, not for this subject, but for all the subject. So I am not applying this rule for economy. This is the rule for performing well in your mains. See the syllabus, see the previous year question. Are you able to answer it? If you are not able to answer it, prepare thoroughly, answer it, get it evaluated, right way of, if you are doing in such a manner, I am telling you, in your mains, when you write your mains, you will score well in that particular subject. And if you are doing for all the paper, you will get a very good score. Do the same thing for your optional also. That's what I can say for you. Okay. Now when you see the next question, okay, again, while we flaunt India's demographic dividend, we ignore the dropping rates of employability. So what are we missing while doing so? Where will the jobs that India desperately needs come from? Explain. Again, same question associated with jobless growth. So out of this 7 questions, you can see that UPSC, out of this 5 topics mentioned in your syllabus in module 1, the core topic is growth and employment. The maximum number of questions have come from growth and employment, and I'll tell you that even there was a question from this particular topic. There was an essay question from this particular topic. Okay, so have an idea. Now regarding the planning topic on planning, okay. So under planning, okay, now planning commission is not there, but you may get a question related with Niti Aayog. It's functioning, okay, either in polity or in, because now even though they are not doing like what earlier planning commission have done, but it is doing many things, especially in regarding to coordinating many development programs between the center and the states. Okay, so that's regarding the module 1. Just have an idea about how deeper you have to study for these topics and what are the major topics you need to give importance. That is growth and employment, but also you need to have an idea that planning, mobilization of resources, development also have to be covered to complete the module 1 of your economy syllabus. And it can play a very important role. The knowledge of these topics can play a very important role in your essay also, to score well in your essay. Now comes to the second topic, okay. The second module, this is the syllabus what says that, okay, inclusive growth and issues arising from it, okay. So already we have covered this topic in our class, and good that even though I have discussed answers to these questions, many students have written answer, I have given them feedback, okay, but again there were problem with their answers. Hope they will rectify it, okay. So this you do it, okay, wherever you are, you do it, okay. See the questions, read a standard study material and write it, get it feedback, continue the exercise, okay. Now if you see the questions related with inclusive growth, okay, almost all the questions are directly related with your syllabus. In 17 question, okay, they asked, okay, what are the salient features of inclusive growth? Direct question, syllabus question. 15 mark question, 250. Then, has India been experiencing such a growth process? That's a question being asked to you. Okay, if yes, explain. If not, you analyze, okay, why? So on what parameters? So at least you should know what is inclusive growth. You should know what are the salient features of inclusive growth. Okay, and most important salient features of inclusive growth is that, okay, you should have access to, every citizen of the country should have access to resources, the major resources. Okay, and it should address poverty, it should address employment. So many things are there. Okay, so just have an idea. So if you look into those factors, can you say that India is experiencing such a growth process? That's a question being asked to you. Okay, if not, or whatever it is, your suggestion, what is your answer, you analyze and suggest measures for inclusive growth. Okay, UPSC is asking you to suggest measures to ensure inclusive growth. Okay, so that, or see, I will say that this was a straightforward question from your syllabus, and if you have done prepared thoroughly for inclusive growth, you could have answered well also. Okay, there are many instruments for inclusive growth like financial inclusion, etc. Okay, so financial inclusion play a very important role in attaining the goal of inclusive growth. So many things you can discuss. Now, in 16 also there was a question on inclusive growth. Rather, in 16 there were 2 questions related with inclusive growth. One, again, they asked for the challenges for inclusive growth, as well as they asked suggest measures to be taken for facing these challenges. Okay, again, if you see that suggesting measures to tackle the challenges of inclusive growth, same question they asked, suggest measures for inclusive growth. Some slight difference is there, but almost content is the same. So it's a repetition of not fully a part of the question. In 2016, there was another question regarding Pradhana Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, a current affair, but related with your syllabus. So Pradhana Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is all about financial inclusion. So what is the basic aim of financial inclusion? To ensure inclusive growth. So a current affair related with your syllabus. They asked, UPSC asked a question on Pradhana Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So it was not out of the syllabus, it is there in the syllabus, a current affair related with your syllabus. Then 2014, they asked a question related with capitalism and inclusive growth. They said that okay, capitalism has guided the world economy to unprecedented prosperity, but however it often encourages short-sightedness and contributes to wide disparities between the rich and the poor. In this light, would it be correct to believe and adopt capitalism for bringing inclusive growth in India? Discuss. So in 2014, they asked a question relating capitalism and inclusive growth, and very interestingly, in 2015, they asked a question on essay on capitalism and inclusive growth. See the interesting analysis of a topic being asked in your mains. Next year they are asking in your essay also. And this I have seen in few questions. Okay, so in the end of this session, we will see the essay questions being asked from your syllabus in the last 5 years. Okay. Now in 2013, it was a current affair question. The Companies Bill was in discussion, it was in news like anything because Companies Act came into existence. So they asked they related Companies Bill with inclusive growth. What they asked is, with a consideration towards the strategy of inclusive growth. So in order to attain inclusive growth, the new Companies Bill has indirectly made CSR a mandatory obligation. So now from this question, you got a very important point that CSR, that is corporate social responsibility, which is now mandatory under the Companies Act 2013, is a very important tool to achieve inclusive growth. So if a question means inclusive growth is asked, you should mention about financial inclusion, you should mention about corporate social responsibility. Okay, so by analyzing the previous year question, you got very important point. Okay, obviously you have to study under your syllabus if these things has to be there in your material. Okay, so from inclusive growth, 5 questions have been asked in the last 5 years. Only in 15 they didn't ask, but in 16 they asked 2 questions. And there have been an essay on inclusive growth also. So inclusive growth is a very, very, very important topic because even consistently UPSC is asking questions from it. So you need to go in depth regarding this topic. Okay, so prepare well, prepare this topic, try to answer these questions, get it evaluated, and if somebody is saying that okay, you are writing correct answer to this particular question, it means that you are thorough with this particular topic, and you can answer any question if UPSC asks related with this inclusive growth. This strategy you follow for your means. Now comes to the next topic. Okay, third module of your syllabus. It's mentioning government budgeting. It's just mentioning government budgeting. So basically, it is about Indian government. Okay, so basically union government budgeting. Okay, we have studied during your prelims time public finance. We have discussed about the budget concept, etc. The importance of, but here in mains, it's more about analysis of budgeting. Okay, now if you see in 2017, okay, how they have asked question from budgeting. They asked that one of the objectives of intended objectives of Union Budget 2017-18 is to transform, energize and clean India. Transform, energize and clean India. Analyze the measures proposed in the budget 2017-18 to achieve the objective. So for your mains, you should know that particular budget's major objective and what are the measures taken by the government. So this year, government have given more importance to health and other weaker sections, okay, and health got a major attention also. There are other features. So and now also articles are coming regarding this, the government health scheme, what we call as Modicare, like in the case of Obamacare, okay, because it's very important. So there are many analyses going on. So maybe that may be a question or any things. Okay, so definitely you should go through the budget 2018-19, major features. If in case if a question is being asked, you can answer it. Even if it is not been asked, you can write to one of your question if it is related with that particular topic. So budget from the mains point of view is very important. Not they can ask specific question, or you can bring the major features of that year's budget to your answer. That will help you to score well. So revise, those who are writing mains this year, okay, revise the major features of this year's budget and how you can apply that knowledge to your respective topics in your economy. And that are all extra points for your answer. Then in 16, they asked about gender budgeting. So in 16, they asked about gender budgeting. Okay, so in India we have gender budgeting. Not only in India, other countries follow it, but India we have. So what is gender budgeting? So question was associated with gender budgeting and women empowerment. A related question, women empowerment and gender budgeting. So 16, again UPSC asked from this particular topic. Then in 14 and 15 there was no question regarding government budgeting. But in 2013, there were 3 questions. So 2013, there were 10 marks, the number of questions were more. During that time, there were 25 questions were there. So the number of questions also were the 10 mark questions. So 3 10-mark questions were there. So one was question related with FRBM, which is a concept, but you have to study under budgeting. FRBM you have to study under. This year also FRBM is very important. Already this year prelims you might have seen the question. Then again a question on tax expenditure, a concept associated with government budgeting. Then GST, goods and service tax. Again goods and service tax is associated with your budget because it's a major revenue for the government. It's a receipts for the government. And as per the 2018-19, the major source of receipts for the government in 2018-19 is coming from goods and service tax. So again this year, you should prepare for goods. You should expect a question for your mains because it's almost 1 year. They will ask you, analyze the last 1 year period of GST implementation. What actually GST have made, what impact the introduction of GST in the last 1 year have made to the economy. So it's again related with your syllabus of government budgeting. So GST can be asked because it's directly with it's related with your syllabus of government budgeting. Okay, so this year any topic related with budgeting, as well as you should prepare for budget 2018-19 features, you should prepare for GST as well as the basics, concepts associated with like different types of budgeting, etc. You need to prepare about outcome budgeting. What is outcome budgeting? So we have introduced outcome budgeting in 2017-18. So what is outcome budgeting different from our traditional budgeting or output based budgeting? So like that, these are the things you need to study under government budgeting. So that's about module 3. Module 4, okay, module 4, it's a pure agricultural topic, very important topic. Every year you will get a question from this particular topic. Okay, now the syllabus says about major crops, cropping pattern in various parts of the country. That's one topic. Second topic is different types of irrigation and irrigation system. Second topic. Third topic is storage, transport and marketing of agricultural produce. So third topic of this module, storage, transport and marketing of agricultural produce and related issues and related constraints. So marketing of agriculture and issues and related constraints. So that's the third topic. Fourth topic, e-technology in the aid of farmers. So under module 4, there are 4 topics regarding crops and cropping pattern, regarding irrigation, regarding agricultural produce, storage, marketing, etc. and technology for farmers, that e-technology in the aid of farmers. 4 topics. Okay, now you have to be thorough with all these 4 topics because from these topics UPSC have asked a question. Okay, now first question in 2017 question, see the 17 question, it is regarding the cropping system from your syllabus, cropping pattern, cropping system. We are relating with rice. Why? What are the major reasons for declining rice and wheat yield in the cropping system? And how crop diversification is helpful to stabilize the yield of the crop in the system? Directly from your syllabus. Crops and cropping pattern. Comes to next topic, okay. water use efficiency and micro irrigation. Question is about water use efficiency and micro irrigation. Syllabus, types of irrigation and irrigation system. Then again, this was a difficult question 16. They asked for what is allelopathy and discuss its role in major cropping system. Okay, but of irrigated agriculture. Okay, again, if you see it, this question have been asked from your syllabus only. Then a current affair related with your syllabus, that is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Okay, so Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, UPSC even asked in prelims also. It's a very important crop insurance scheme, and I always suggest student, okay, if you are writing about a question on agriculture, or if you are writing an essay on agriculture, this scheme and its importance have to be mentioned, because it's a very, very important scheme. So for irrigation, you have a very important scheme, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So if it is a question on irrigation, you should mention about it. Okay, if you are not mentioning about that scheme, you are losing a very important point and you lose marks for it. Okay, so again, even though this insurance is not directly mentioned in your syllabus, okay, but for cropping pattern, crop insurance play a very important role. So wherever crop insurance is there, a farmer if there is any problem associated with that cropping season, this insurance will be taken care of. So crop insurance can play a very important role in the cropping pattern of our country. Okay, so the government is trying to bring almost all the crops under this particular scheme. Okay, so you need to go through this scheme, a very important scheme for crop insurance. It was asked in 2016. Now see, how can Digital India help farmers directly from the syllabus? E-technology in the aid of farmers. It's mentioned in your syllabus. So in the most important technology or government scheme for farmers is Digital India technology. So they ask again directly from the syllabus, but current affair question. Then they ask question about agricultural produce market committee directly from the syllabus, current affair, marketing of agricultural produce from your syllabus. Then they asked a question regarding agricultural credit. Okay, so when you talk about agriculture, the most important challenges faced in the agricultural sector is that the agricultural sector or the farmers, especially small and marginal farmers, they don't get timely and adequate credit. Okay, so unless and until this farmers are not getting timely and adequate credit, the money lenders will exploit them, and that will have an impact on the livelihood of our farmers. So this question is actually directly targeting agricultural credit. So by seeing these 7 questions from this topic, now you should have an idea, okay, what all things you need to prepare in relation to this particular module. All the 4 topics mentioned in the syllabus, like irrigation, crops, cropping pattern, agricultural produce marketing or storage or transport or e-technology, first you have to study the syllabus. Try to answer these previous year questions, as well as study this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, as well as how to tackle the problem of agricultural credit. Because these points, if you can bring into your answer, really it will make a very important sense. And all these points, I always say that you can bring in to your essay as well. When you talk about the different dimensions, you can bring all these things. The next module 5, again an agricultural topic. Syllabus says regarding farm subsidies, issues regarding farm subsidies, issues regarding minimum support prices, issues regarding public distribution system, regarding food security and buffer stocks, technology missions, economics of animal rearing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 topics are there, module 5. So this is the most lengthy topic, lengthy module, and because of that, maximum questions have been asked from this particular module. Okay, in 2017, 2 questions were asked from this particular topic. One, they asked about the different types of revolutions that took place in agriculture after independence, and they also how these revolutions helped in poverty alleviation and food security in India. That was again related with your syllabus. There is food security is there, and regarding the agricultural how to promote agriculture or how to develop agriculture, we will be studying under this module. Again, relevant. Then the 17, another question was there regarding subsidies. Then another, see, second part of the question, okay, so how do subsidies affect the cropping pattern, crop diversity and economy of farmers? So they ask question connecting subsidy and cropping pattern, crop diversity and economy of farmers. So one was regarding subsidy, and what is the significance of crop insurance, minimum support price and food processing for small and marginal farmers. Okay, so the question is again small farmer. So you have syllabus, under syllabus you need to study food processing, MSP you have to study under syllabus, crop insurance we have already seen that it was asked UPSC in the earlier in the form of Pradhana Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So either previous year question or the syllabus related issue associated with agriculture is been asked. Again, I'll say that it's mentioned in your syllabus. If you have studied the syllabus thoroughly and related issues as well as current affairs, you could have answered this particular question. The next question is regarding livestock rearing. Again, to this question, syllabus, economics of animal rearing, directly syllabus question. So in 2016 there was no question from this particular topic, but in 17 there were 2 questions. 15 there was a question. 15 there was and 2 questions. Okay, I just want to make an analysis. Okay, see this, they are currently asking questions from this particular topic. Okay, that regarding again a question on subsidy. They relate the question direct benefit transfer as well as subsidies in India. So question related with subsidies. So subsidies is a favorite topic for UPSC. Then in 13 there was a question on food security as well as again a question on agricultural subsidies. So if you see this module, the maximum number of questions have been asked from agricultural subsidies, but make sure that you are thorough with all these topics mentioned in the syllabus. So there have been no question been asked from technology mission, so but don't neglect it, prepare this topic also on technology mission. Okay. Module 6, already we have covered it. Okay, so it's a topic under food processing, topic exclusive a module for food processing industry. Okay, food processing industry play a very important role in the economy, especially in supporting the farmers. So the top syllabus says that food processing and related industries in India, their scope and significance, location, upstream and downstream requirement, supply chain management. You should be thorough with each term of your syllabus. You should know what is supply chain management. You should know how location of a particular industry can influence a food processing industry. You should know what is upstream and downstream requirement for food processing industry. You should know the related industry, and you should also know the scope as well as the significance of this particular industry. This is actually your syllabus. Now if you see the previous question, it's directly relevant with your syllabus. They're asking that what are the reasons for poor acceptance of cost effective small processing unit. Here they are talking about food processing unit. Why there is low acceptance for small processing unit? Basically you will cover. Okay, you need to know it. Okay, why the small processing unit or the challenges faced by the small processing unit. If you study food processing unit study, you can answer this particular question. And they are asking that how the food processing unit will be helpful to uplift the socio-economic status of poor farmer. Try to answer it, this question. Okay, think about it, read the material, and if you can answer this question properly, you can answer like these questions. You can answer any question associated with food processing industry. And one important point which I want to suggest is that regarding food processing industry is that if a question is being asked on food processing industry, don't miss a very vital government scheme associated with food processing industry, that is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. You should know what is the objective of this scheme, Sampada Yojana, and how this scheme can make an impact for the farmers or the food processing units. Okay, so that you keep in mind. Now, the next question is regarding supply chain management, which is related with your syllabus of food processing industry. And so what are the impediments in marketing and supply chain management in developing the food processing industry in India? Directly from your syllabus. Can e-commerce help in overcoming these bottlenecks? I think there was a video on food processing industry. I've discussed how to answer these questions. Then next question is regarding pink revolution. Pink revolution means it's basically a food processing industry, meat and poultry. Meat industry, poultry comes under pink revolution. So it's again a food processing industry. They are asking how this pink revolution can ensure better nutrition and health. So pink revolution. So like that, you can expect question on blue revolution, golden revolution, etc. Next question is on the impact of FDI in the multi-retail trade sector, how it affects the supply chain management in the food processing industry. So if you again see the question from food processing industry, that all are from your syllabus, either current affair or directly related with your syllabus. So this analysis is giving you an idea, okay, how this syllabus and previous year question play means if you know it thoroughly, how effective preparation you can make. Module 7. Module 7 is about land reforms. In 2017, they didn't ask any question regarding land reforms, but in all the 4 years, there have been questions on land reforms. So land reforms is again a very important module. Never miss it. So we'll see that what type of questions UPSC have asked. Okay, first question was they asked regarding a direct question. Okay, the role of land reforms in agricultural development. Direct question. Identify the factors that were responsible for the success of land reforms in India. A direct question. 16 question. 15 question. Okay, in view of the declining average size of land holdings in India, which has made agricultural non-viable for a majority of farmers, should contract farming and land leasing be promoted in agriculture? Critically evaluate the pros and cons. A current affair related with land reforms. Current affair associated with land. When the government decided to encourage land leasing and contract farming, UPSC asked that particular question in 2015. Then, so if you are preparing about land reforms, you should definitely prepare about this very important act, what is called as Right to Fair Compensation and Transparency in Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act. Again a current affair, but related with your syllabus on land reforms. This Land Acquisition Act, very important act. Then 2013, a direct question related with your syllabus. Okay, establish relationship between land reforms, agricultural productivity, and elimination of poverty in the Indian economy. Okay, so they are asking for the relation between land reforms, productivity, and elimination of poverty in the Indian economy. A very good question. So if you can answer it through a proper analysis, obviously you have to study under this these topics. Discuss the difficulty in designing and implementation of agricultural friendly land reforms in India. All questions directly from the syllabus. So land reforms important for you. 7th module is regarding land reforms. Next module, okay, next module, there are 2 topics under this next module. One is effects of liberalization on the economy. So when we introduce liberalization, so what is liberalization? Reasons for liberalization. And finally, the impact or effects of liberalization on the different sectors of the economy. That's the syllabus. And then they are asking that changes in industrial policy. So we have come up with different industrial policies, and including the latest the policies in the form of Make in India. And they are asking for how, like what are the different changes in industrial policy and how these have affected the industrial growth of our country. Industrial policy as well as industrial growth syllabus. Now you see there were 2 questions in 2017 related with this. One is regarding the question on manufacturing sector. Why our manufacturing sector failed in achieving labor intensive exports rather than capital intensive exports. Okay, there are key core points you should study when you study industry. So if you know those key points, you could have easily answered these questions. Then they are asking suggest measures for the more labor intensive rather than capital intensive exports. Okay, this is some points you will get it when you study the employment, how you can create more labor intensive jobs. So same points you can suggest here also. So related with your syllabus. Then industrial growth has lagged behind in the overall growth of GDP in the post-reform period, that is after 1991. Give reasons why industrial growth have lower than the overall growth rate. So it's a similar type of question being asked regarding why India skipped from an agricultural economy to a service economy without having a strong industrial base. So service sector is one of the reasons for it. How far the recent changes in industrial policy are capable of increasing the industrial growth rate? See the syllabus, see the question and direct question from your syllabus. Be thorough with the syllabus, study detail, in depth. So in mains it will help you. In 15 there was a question. They are asking a important industrial policy, recent policy of the government, that is Make in India program. They asked a question and they said that Make in India program can be successful only if Skill India program or the success of Skill India program and radical labor reforms. Discuss with logical arguments. So they asked a question on Make in India and they said that the success of Make in India depends on Skill India as well as bringing about radical labor reforms. So you have to study. So labor reforms you will study under employment. So to increase employment you have to bring about labor reforms. Then the 13th question, okay, examine the impact of liberalization on companies owned by Indians. Directly syllabus. Effect of liberalization on the economy. They asked, what is the effect of liberalization on companies owned by Indians? Are these Indian companies competing with multinational companies satisfactorily? That is the 2013 question. Again, directly from your syllabus. That's regarding module 8. Module 9, very important topic on infrastructure. Infrastructure is there in your mains. And it's specifically, there are 5 infrastructure sectors explicitly mentioned in your syllabus. That is energy, ports, roads, airports and railways. At least these 5 infrastructure sector you have to study thoroughly. And if you see in 2017 they asked a direct question on airports and question was on airports and public-private partnership model. And public-private partnership is a favorite UPSC area and that you will study in investment models, which is your next topic, next module. So direct question from airport which is there in your syllabus. Then there was a question on solar energy regarding the tariffs of solar energy. If any student who can answer this question, he could have answered that 2018 prelims question. Okay, tariffs of solar energy was been asked in 2018 prelims also. This was asked in 2015 mains. So solar energy, that is again directly from your syllabus. Energy, give importance to renewable energy, etc. Then regarding national urban transport policy. So question on transport policy. A new transport policy when the government announced, UPSC have asked it in this exam, and transport sector is a very important infrastructure sector. And 2013 they asked a question on India's green energy corridor. So if you see that the maximum number of questions have come from the energy sector, but don't skip areas like roads, airports, railways. You can expect these questions from your coming mains because it's mentioned in your syllabus. So in 17 they asked about airport. So you can expect a question on railway or ports or roads or even from energy. So be thorough with these 5 energy infrastructure sector. See there is a method to study these topics. Okay, there are certain infrastructural common challenges. So if you learn these common points, you can answer it on any sector. It is applicable for energy, it is applicable for ports, roads, railways, etc. So be thorough with those points and you can apply it depending upon the question. So that's regarding the module 9. And module 10, which is again related with this module 9, infrastructure and investment model are interrelated. Okay. So in 17 there was no direct question on investment model. Okay. This year I am expecting a very important question on investment model, that is hybrid annuity model, which was covered in your economic survey, recent economic survey. Okay. Which is a very successful investment model for developing road sector. So if you see the question being asked in 16, they asked a question on foreign direct investment which is a part of investment model. In 15, they asked a question on special economic zone. In 14, again they asked a question on foreign direct investment in the defense sector. In 14, they asked a question on public-private partnership. In 13, also they asked a question on public-private partnership. And in 13, there was a question on foreign direct investment. Okay, so under investment model, you need to study about FDI, public-private partnership, special economic zone, and other recent new investment models like hybrid, annuity model, etc. So when this investment model is directly related with your module 9, that is infrastructure. So these are the 10 modules of your core economy, which is the first 10 modules of GS3. But again, I told you there are other miscellaneous topics there in other papers also. Again, in GS3, in the 13th module, and along with science and technology, there is a topic called issues related with intellectual property rights. So I am making that as module 11th module of Indian economy, which an economy student have to study, and we will cover it as module 11, intellectual property rights. So even though in 17 and 16 there was no question on intellectual property rights, but in 13, 14 and 15 there was a consistent question on intellectual property rights. So in 18, try to expect a question on intellectual property rights, especially this National Intellectual Property Rights Policy 2016. Okay, so if you see the question, there are direct questions are there are current affair related questions are there associated with intellectual property rights. In 15, there was a question on India's traditional knowledge digital library, which has a database of more than 2 million medicinal formulation, is proving a powerful weapon in the country's fight against erroneous patents. So they are asking for the pros and cons of making this database publicly available under open source licensing. So the question is regarding traditional knowledge digital library. So traditional knowledge will come under intellectual property rights. You have to study under intellectual property rights this traditional knowledge digital library and related issues. So when you study it, you can easily answer this question. Then they are asking a question on intellectual property rights as an important source of litigation. So you will have to bring this TRIPS agreement, what all things, and a basic question, basic definition or basic difference between copyrights, patent and trade secrets. These are all different types of intellectual property, basic concepts. And then a current affair regarding when the Supreme Court have made a judgment in relation to inserting section 3D or the in Indian Patent Act, and the Supreme Court have favored in its have supported this section 3D in rejecting Novartis patent application. Okay, now in relation to intellectual property rights, 2 important core points you have to mention in your question on intellectual property rights. One is India don't allow evergreening of patent, and this section 3D was introduced to prevent evergreening of patent. So you should know what is this evergreening of patent and how this judgment have ensured that India can prevent evergreening of patent. And then there is another important topic, that is what is called as compulsory licensing. So you should know what is compulsory licensing and how compulsory licensing is helping the poor, especially in relation to pharmaceutical sector. Okay, so IPR you need to study. So these are the 11 modules. So this is a part, it's not a full module, it's a part of the module under the science and technology, the 13th module of GS3. Now these are the topics you need to cover under GS3. Similarly, in GS1, there is a section topic called as poverty and development issues. Similarly, in GS2, there is a topic called issues of poverty and hunger. Okay, so I will suggest you can study it together, this GS1 topic and GS2 topic, because it's related with poverty. So even though it is not there in GS3, because poverty, I feel that you need to study, because poverty is a very important economic concept. It's a part of many other topics which you have studied. For example, if you are talking about inclusive growth, if you are talking about jobless growth, if you are talking about small and marginal farmers, the basic, or if you are talking about different welfare schemes in relation to agriculture, industry, everything, inclusive growth or employment, we will deal with this issue of poverty. So we will do poverty and cover these modules issues of poverty and hunger, which is there in GS2, and poverty and development issues, which is there in GS1 as part of economy. Okay, so 17 question was directly related with poverty elevation program. 16, so that was asked in GS2. In 16, they asked in GS1, they asked a question, an essential condition to eradicate poverty is to liberate the poor from the process of deprivation. A direct question regarding if you know poverty and its causes, you can easily answer it. In 15, in GS1, they asked a question related with population and poverty. A very interesting question. They asked whether growing population is the cause of poverty or poverty is the main cause of population. Actually, the question is regarding causes of poverty. So if you are thorough with the causes of poverty, you can easily answer this question also. And in 15, a current affair, a question related with poverty, which was asked in GS2. We are saying that there have been several different estimates of poverty in India. All indicate reduction in poverty levels over time. Do you agree? They are asking you, do you agree that in India poverty have reduced? Critically examine with reference to the urban and rural poverty indicators. A current affair, especially regarding during, see now also there is a debate on poverty definition. So that's again a very important point you will have to study under inclusive growth issues also. Okay, so poverty, which is not there in GS3 but in GS1 and GS2, you have to study in detail because it is important for your these GS1 and GS2 paper as well as for your essay. And the last module, module 13, if you take the syllabus of international institutions, it is mentioning a topic called important international institutions. So under the important international institutions, many economic international institutions is been asked like WTO, World Bank, etc. And again in your international relations syllabus, there is a topic called agreements involving India or affecting India's interest. Any agreements, especially trade agreements, etc. So this topic I have taken from GS2 from the international relation topic, but the question being asked from here, there are many economic questions being asked. For example, in 16 they asked about WTO. WTO is an international institution, but you will study this WTO thoroughly only because it's an economic topic. In 2014, again under WTO, there is a very important agreement is there, what is called as International Information Technology Agreement. So Information Technology Agreement, again syllabus, agreements involving India or affecting India's interest. So that's again a syllabus, direct syllabus question, Information Technology Agreement. Then in 14, regarding question on New Development Bank and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, these are recent banks, development banks, where India became a member, a founding member, where India can play a very important role. They asked this question under important international institution. So that was the 14th question. Then in 14, there was a question again on WTO. So 2 times UPSC asked a question on WTO. So WTO you have to study thoroughly, okay. WTO is a favorite topic. In 14, they asked a general question regarding international funding agencies, and they asked question like this. Some of the international funding agencies have special terms for economic participation, stipulating a substantial component of the aid to be used for sourcing equipment from the leading countries, from the lending countries, okay. So in that case, discuss the merits of such terms and if there exists a strong case not to accept such condition in the Indian context, okay. So this is regarding international funding. So the conditionalities they put when you receive aid. So that you will study as part of when you study IMF, World Bank, or see this is one of the reason why the role of this IMF and World Bank in dominating giving aid and other things, and which developing country especially India and China, when they felt that they need to have a counter from the long term point of view, they came up with this new development banks. Okay, so again a purely economic question, but it has been asked in GS2 under international relations. And finally, there was a question on World Bank and IMF in 2013. Okay, so as part of your economy, you have to prepare about IMF, World Bank, New Development Bank, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, WTO, important agreements including Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, because that is an agreement which can affect India or India's interest. So it's there in your syllabus. It's a very important current affair, so you can expect under this particular section. Okay, so these are the 13 modules you have to study. So if you see the previous year question, so on an average, you will get around 12 to 13 questions from all GS1, GS2, GS3 paper. So on an average, I expect that around 150 marks you will get if you are thorough with, or you can answer it if you are thorough with economy, mainly what is mentioned in the syllabus, and if you see the previous year question and prepare accordingly, you can score well in these sections. And more importantly, this is a very important analysis which I want to show you. The questions, economic topics asked in your essay in the last 5 years. So in 2017, there was a question on farming. Farming has lost the ability to be a source of subsistence for majority of farmers in India. A pure economic topic. You know that there are 3 or 4 modules on agriculture. You have 2 direct modules on agriculture, 1 on food processing industry, 1 on land reforms. And if you have gone through this employment and inclusive growth modules, you could have answered this essay in a good manner. And it was a current affair also, doubling farmers' income, etc. So agriculture question they asked in 2017, a farmer related issue. In 16, there were 3 questions out of 8 questions. So try to understand that in essay, there are 2 sections, section A and section B. 4 topics they will ask. You have to answer 1 question from section A and 1 question from section B. From each 4 topic, you have to select 1. So out of this 8 topic in 2016, 3 topics were from economy related, and most of them were directly related with your syllabus. One question was, innovation is the key determinant of economic growth and social welfare. Sorry. So innovation, you will study in intellectual property, the importance of innovation, and how innovation play an important role in economic growth. You know the importance of economic growth and social welfare. So again, a pure economic topic, you can answer well if you are thorough with the syllabus. Then essay on jobless growth in India. I told you there was a question in 2015. UPSC asked a question on jobless growth. In 2016, they asked an essay on jobless growth. In 2016, there was a question on digital economy. There was an essay question on digital economy. They asked whether it is a leveler or a source of economic inequality. So these were the 3 questions asked in 16. Essay, it's an essay topic. Then 15 essay, can capitalism bring inclusive growth? In 2014, UPSC asked a GS3 question. In 15, there was an essay on capitalism and inclusive growth. So GS3 question and essay is related, just make an analysis, and again, from your syllabus. Then, 2014 question, a current related, was it the policy paralysis or the paralysis of implementation which slowed the growth of our country? So if you know, study in detail the economic growth related issues and also the current related topic or that period of time, you could have easily answered a very beautiful essay on this particular topic. And in 2013, try to understand that from 2014 only, in essay paper there were 2 sections. But till 2013, there were only 1 essay you have to write. So from 2014 onwards, you have to write 2 essays. Up to 2013, you need to write only 1 essay, and they used to give you 4 topics. From that, you have to write 1 essay. But from 14 onwards, you need to write 2 essays from 8 topics. From section A, 1 essay. From section B, 1 essay. So even in 13, when there were only 4 topics, 4 questions, out of that 1 you have to write. 1 was again on growth, that is GDP along with gross domestic happiness would be the right indices for judging the well-being of a country. So what I am trying to say is that if you are thorough with those 13 modules, if you have read the material, if you have a proper analysis, and if you can bring those knowledge as well as, so that is your core knowledge, so that will give you the right content and also relating the other necessary ingredients to write a good essay, definitely in the present trend in 18 as well as in 19, there out of the 8 topic, one topic will be an essay from economy, and if you have studied as per what I have said, that by seeing the syllabus, by reading the material, by reading extra sources, by answering these previous year questions, definitely you can write a good essay also. Okay, so this, so if you can, so you can answer 125 mark essay, you will get nearly 150 marks in GS 1, 2 and 3. So nearly more than 250 marks Indian economy contributes out of your 1750. So this is the importance of Indian economy for your mains. So now you know how to do it. Now it is upon to you to practice it. Okay, so you need to daily or at least alternative days you have to cover your one module. Whenever you complete a module, see the previous year question, whether you can answer all these previous year questions. If not, refer more and write it and get it evaluated. That's very important. Okay, just reading and writing is not sufficient. You should get it evaluated and find out your weaknesses in writing an answer. So if you do so, and plus you join a test series, this will help you to score well for your mains. So this is regarding economy. So hope that you benefited with this analysis, and make sure that you can download these questions, you can analyze the questions, and you can prepare accordingly. So study well, don't waste your time. Again, in the beginning what I told you, one day you have to write the mains. So don't wait that I'm not going to write mains this year, so I'm not going to prepare now. I'm going to take a break. Don't do it. If you want to write mains next year also, you should start now, because time is less. So forget about what all things have happened with your prelims or whatever it is, and for those who are going to write mains, don't waste your time. So whatever it is, everyone who are preparing seriously for your mains examination, think that you are going to write mains this year or next year, and prepare now itself thoroughly, and make sure that you have a very important skill to score well for your mains, that is in relation to writing a good answer to the question. So do this exercise, definitely you can score well for your mains, and that will help you to achieve your dream goal. Okay, that's all. Thank you.